Okay, so let me start this session asking this question to you. What is the difference between compile time error, compile time error, runtime error, and logical error? Can you please put that in the chat box? Runtime error and logical error. Okay, logical error. Any idea? What is the difference between compile time error, runtime error, and logical error? Okay, so those errors. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Okay, so keep answering my question. Okay, yeah, fine, cool, very nice. Right. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question now, so you answer me this. Okay, so if suppose I say a is equal to hello double quotes. Okay, now whether this comes under compile time error or runtime error, can you tell me this? Whether it comes under compile time error or runtime error? It comes under compile time, isn't it? Because the syntax is wrong. Okay, this is not a string constant, isn't it? So what is that we have to do? We have to actually add one more double quotes over here so that to avoid the compile time error, correct? Okay, so it is an incorrect syntax. Okay, making sense? Is that okay? Now, what if I write a is equal to 5 divided by, okay, let me give you one more example. Okay, so give me a moment, I'll give one more example. What if I have L is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3, and then I would say print L of 4. Okay, L of 4. So is it a compile time error or a runtime error? What kind of error is this? Can you tell me quickly? It is a runtime error. Why? So is there any problem with the syntax? Is there any problem with the syntax over here? There is no problem with the syntax, isn't it? According to the syntax, according to the Python language, convention, everything is right? So there is no problem with the syntax. But during runtime, I'm trying to access a value that is beyond this index, isn't it, my dear friends? There are only 3 elements. Okay, so I'm trying to access the 5th element, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that is 5th element. So therefore, okay, so this will give you a runtime error. Okay. So similarly, what do you mean by logical error? Okay, if suppose I want to find the average. So I gave you an example in today's video that if suppose I want to find the average of two numbers, right? So will this actually work? Will this work? Okay, so is this a compile time error, by the way? Is this a compile time error? Tell me. Is this a compile time error? No, right? This is not a compile time error because according to the Python language, everything is okay. There is no problem with the syntax. Everything is okay, right? But when you see the according to the CPU, so is there any problem with the CPU's execution? No, right? The CPU does not have any problem with this execution over here, right? So everything is proper. But what happens is we don't get the right output, isn't it, my difference? Isn't it? Yes or no? So it's basically a logic error. So what is the average of 2? What is the average of 4 plus 4? I mean 4 and 4. What is the average? I have to get 8 by 4. We have to get 4, isn't it? We have to get 4. But what is it we are getting answer for this? Okay, we would get the answer as 6, isn't it? So therefore there is basically a we get how much? 6, right? So this is called as logical error. Clear with this? Are everyone clear with it? Okay, 3 kinds of error: compile time errors, runtime errors, and logical errors, right? So that is the reason I asked you to watch this video today. Is that clear, guys? Hello, is that clear? So now, so next question is, what do you mean by exceptions? What do you mean by exceptions? Can anyone tell me? Okay, put that in the chat box. What do you mean by exceptions? What is exception? Yeah, what do you mean by exceptions? Okay, special cases. Okay, 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 errors. Okay, so exceptions are nothing but runtime errors. All runtime errors are called as exceptions. We basically call all the runtime errors as, okay, your exceptions. Is that clear? Right, so exceptions are nothing but your runtime errors. Okay, it means that there is an error occurring during the execution of a particular task. Making sense? There is an error that is occurring, okay, during the execution of a particular task. Okay, so such kind of errors that happens during the execution of a particular task is called as exceptions. Clear? Yeah, is that clear, guys? Is that clear? Hello, you're doing some operation and some error happens. So that is basically for various reasons. The reasons could be various reasons, right? So the reasons could be varying, but there is an error happening, so it is not allowing you to achieve your task. So such kind of errors are called as exceptions. Is that clear? Is that clear? Do you want an analogy for this? Do you want an analogy? I'll try to think of an analogy. Okay, so let me give you an analogy, right? So um okay, so let me take Praveen Kumar here. Praveen Kumar. Okay, so assume Praveen is a father of a son. Okay, Okay, Praveen, are you married, by the way? Praveen, are you married? Okay, so are you not married, right? So I'm currently making you a father, okay, without getting married. Okay, so don't be too much happy. So don't do this in real time. It is very bad. Okay, so I mean, just assume that you're a father of a son now. And what is the time now, my dear friend? What is the time now? It is say 11:30. Let me make it as 11:30. Okay, so let me make it as 11:30. The time is 11:30. Okay, p.m. 11:30 p.m. That is in the night, right? So you have a son, and you asked your son to go and get masal dosa for you in the night 11:30 p.m. Clear? Is the scenario clear, my dear friends? Okay, so the task that has to be accomplished is what? What is the task that has to be accomplished? So Praveen has to is feeling very hungry, and Praveen has to get. I mean, Praveen wants one masal dosa. So for that, he will ask his son to go and get masal dosa, isn't it? He's asking his son to go and get the masal dosa from where? From a particular restaurant, isn't it, my dear friends? Hello, he wants to get a masal dosa from a restaurant. Agree, disagree? There is a restaurant over here, and he wants his son to go and get the masala dosa from here. Okay. So now tell me, is it, do you think the masala dosa would be available in this, restaurant at 11:30? Okay. Okay. So chances are there are few restaurants in, very crowded areas and all that. It would be there. So it may be, may not be, isn't it? There may be a masala dosa, there may not be a masala dosa, isn't it? Yes or no? Correct? No? So the task that has to be accomplished is, okay, getting the masala dosa, and Praveen has to eat the masala dosa. End of the day, Praveen wants to eat masala dosa. He's feeling very hungry. So what he will do is that he'll call his son and say, boss, see boss, go get me, we'll call the son as Pappu. Okay, we'll call him as Pappu. So he'll say, Pappu, go get the masala dosa for me. I'm very hungry from the nearby restaurant, right? So what happens here is that there could be an exception. The exception could be that, okay, the hotel is open. Okay, or there would be, can you tell me various reasons for why, okay, the Pappu could not be able to get the masal dosa? Can you tell me various reasons, my dear friends? Okay, one of the reason could be what? Okay, so time. No, time means what? So first thing is what? Hotel may be closed, isn't it? May be closed. Hotel may be closed, isn't it? So let me write it as may be closed. The hotel may be closed, right? What is the second scenario? What could be the second scenario? Second scenario might be that, there are other things, but the batter for the dosa is over. The batter is over. Okay, no, there is no batter. There is no batter is over. Okay, so what is the other scenario, my dear friends? Okay, that is what, maybe the hotel is closed or the hotel is open, batter is over. Any other reason? Okay, so no, forget money and all. No, will not happen. Yeah, it might happen, but no, we are not expecting all that. Okay, chutney might be empty, or the chef is actually, went off, chef is sleeping, or chef is not available. Chef is not available. Okay, so these are called as your chef is not available, isn't it? Chef is not available. So these are the possible reasons where the masala dosa would not be available. Are you understanding what I'm saying, my dear friends? Okay, no? So now these are causing the exceptions. Okay, these are called as exceptions, correct? No, so Praveen is not able to, okay, eat the masala dosa because of these runtime errors. Okay, now don't you think these errors are happening during the execution of this task? Isn't it? Praveen wants some task to be achieved, and when he is about to achieve this task, there are some runtime errors happening, right? No, maybe closed, hotel may be closed, batter is over, chef is not available, and so on and so forth. So these are called as exceptions. What are these called as, my dear friends? Can you put that in the chat box? They are called as exceptions. Okay, those errors which is not allowing Praveen to accomplish his task, they are called as exceptions. Okay, now, right, so what can Praveen do now? What can Praveen do? Okay, so will Praveen wait for his son to come and tell him the reason? Will Praveen, okay, do you think Praveen will wait for his son to come and actually give you all these reasons? Okay, or will he will already assume that there could be such kind of things happening, so let me be prepared to handle such kind of exceptions? Are you understanding the two scenarios? First thing is that, first way is that Praveen will wait for the son to come and give all these reasons, and then he will decide what to do. Or second reason, second thing what Praveen can do is that Praveen can assume that all these could, this could, happen. That, Praveen knows that the hotel may be closed, or the batter may be over, or the chef is not available. So he thinks that there would be various reasons why this, my son could not, get me masala dosa, right? No, there is. So what is that called as? That is called as handling the exceptions. So Praveen is trying to handle the exceptions. That is called as handling the exceptions. So what do you mean by handling exceptions? When he knows that when the son comes with an a reason saying that may be closed, so what will Praveen do? Praveen will say, go to the next hotel. Yes or no? He is ready with one task. When an exception is happening, he must say something else. He must do something else, isn't it? Okay, that is called as handling the exception, right? So Praveen again is waiting for his son to come and he is prepared. If he says the batter is over, then he will say go get something else, isn't it? Then if the chef is not available, okay, then get something ready made, right? No, which is not so like that. So Praveen, okay, will be ready with some other solutions to handle these kind of exceptions, and that is called as exception handling or handling the exceptions. Guys, are you understanding what I'm trying to tell you? Is it making sense or no, my dear friends? Can you tell me? Is it making sense? So do you want me to repeat it once again? Do you want me to repeat it once again? Okay, just say repeat in the chat box so that no, I'll understand. If you want me to repeat it, I'll tell you I will repeat it. Okay, so guys, listen to me. Okay, first thing is, okay, let me start from the first. Let me ask you this question. Do you know what you, first of all, okay, do you know what you mean by compile time error, runtime error, and logical error? Isn't it? You all know this, correct? No? Okay, so what is compile time error? Because the compiler will actually compile because of the problem in the syntax. And runtime error is there is no problem with the syntax, but okay, your CPU is not ready to execute certain instructions because of illegal instructions, right? Say for example, divide by zero or something like that, right? So they are called as runtime errors. And the third one is logical errors, where you have some problem with the logic, right? So everything is okay, but the logic that you have written is wrong, and that is why you're not getting the desired output. They are called as logical errors. Is that clear? Now, what do you mean by exceptions? All runtime errors are called as exceptions. It means you are trying to achieve a particular task, but because of specific reasons, okay, the task is not being accomplished during runtime. It means that during runtime there is a problem. It means during the execution of that particular task there is a problem occurring. That is called as exception. Is that clear? For those people who asked me to repeat, is that clear, my dear friends? Quickly tell me. Okay, I'm asking you. For your others, keep quiet. For those people who asked me to repeat, it is for them, right? So I told you that, okay, so when you are trying to achieve certain task, okay, there is a problem that is happening. Okay, during the execution of the task there is a problem happening, and such kind of problems are called as exceptions. And I gave you an analogy over here where Praveen is asking his son to go and get masala dosa, right? So the task that Praveen has to achieve is that he wants to eat masala dosa. For that, he's sending his son to the restaurant at night 11:30 p.m. and then he's expecting masala dosa, right? So two things can either happen. One first thing is that either the son can come with masala dosa, or there could be a problem because of various reasons, isn't it? There could be a runtime error. When during execution there could be a problem. Agree, disagree? Agree, disagree? Those people who said to repeat, I'm asking you people. Okay, no? So can you tell me? So either Praveen can come with masala dosa successfully, or okay, so there would be a reason that for there could be a problem that could occur during the execution. That is when the son went to take out the masala dosa, there were some problem. There could have been some problem that happened during runtime, and because of that, the son could not get the masala dosa. Yes or no? Agree? So those problems that occurred during this operation, during the execution of getting masala dosa, right? So such kind of problems are called as what? Exceptions. Is that clear? So those errors or those actions that did not allow for this execution to be accomplished successfully, so such kind of actions are called as exceptions. Is that clear, guys? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay, those actions that did not allow for the execution to go on successfully, so such kind of actions are called as exceptions. Is that clear? Fine. Right. Now Praveen can do two things. Okay, one thing is that Praveen can either wait for the son to come and give this reason and then decide what to do. Okay, or Praveen can actually anticipate this, right? So Praveen could anticipate that might be when my son goes to get the masala dosa, there are chances that there could be some problem that can occur, so let me be prepared for such kind of errors. Did you understand that? Okay, he is ready to face that, correct? He is ready to handle that. Did you understand this? So that when Praveen is ready to handle that, okay, so Praveen will make some scenarios. First one is that maybe closed, second one is that battery is over, or third one is what? Chef is not available. So he's ready with these three exceptions. So what happens once son finds that the hotel is closed or the restaurant is closed? Immediately the son will come and say, Papa, there is no the restaurant is closed. So immediately what Praveen will do, he will check which is that exception. Okay, boss, the restaurant closed, then go to some other restaurant. He immediately gave one more suggestion to his son, right? So if the son comes with, saying that the batter is over, then he'll say, go get something else for me other than the batter, okay, other than masala dosa. Okay, and if say he says that the chef is available, then Praveen is even handling that also, saying that, see boss, the chef is not available, then get something ready made. Okay, so that process of handling that exceptions is called as, okay, is called as what? Exception handling. It means that Praveen is not aborting the operation. Did you understand? Did you understand, my dear friends? Okay, just because son came with a reason saying that it is not closed, Praveen is not aborting the operation. Okay, Praveen is continuing with the operation with some other, by handling that exception and writing some other code or asking him to do something else, right? Understanding what I'm saying? So that is called as exception handling. Okay, let me give you one more example. Now assume that you go to your ATM kiosk. You go to ATM kiosk and swipe your ATM card, okay, and you enter wrong password. Okay, when you swipe your ATM card, what does it ask for? When you swipe your ATM card in the ATM kiosk, what does it ask for? It will ask you for the PIN, isn't it? And it will ask you for the password or the PIN, right? So what if you enter the wrong password? What does it do? When you enter the wrong password, what does it do actually? If you enter the wrong PIN, will it terminate the program completely? Will it decline, or it will ask you to enter it once again? Okay, it will say enter once again, isn't it? Please retry, right? So don't you think that ATM code is handling that exception of entering wrong PIN, isn't it? Yes or no? Though it is not completely an example for exception handling, I'm just trying to give you an example, right? So that it can handle it. Right? No, are you understanding? So whatever example I'm giving you now is called as input handling, but still you can relate this example with exception handling. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay, because you entered a wrong pin, it is not saying boss I'm aborting it, right? It will try for 2-3 times, and even after that you are entering wrong pin, then it becomes very suspicious and then says, okay, no boss, I'm not actually allowing you to do this further, and it'll abort the operation. Is it clear? Till here, is that clear, my dear friends? Because if you understood so much, then the rest is very easy. Okay, so now let me write this scenario. Okay, let me keep it here. Let me write this entire scenario in terms of Python. Okay, listen to me. So to do exception handling in Python, you have to write, okay, these keywords: try, except, okay, except, else is optional, and finally is also optional. Okay, don't worry about else or finally. Okay, so we'll be discussing later. So guys, listen to me, darling Amara Sharwant, just listen to me, darling, please. Okay, so try, except, else, finally, right? No, so these are the 4 things that you will have to add. Okay, else and finally are optional. Which are optional? Put that in the chat box. Which are optional? Which are optional, my dear friends? Can you tell me which are optional? Else and finally. So for now, I'm not adding this. I will teach this later to you guys. For now, let us only focus on try and except. This is mandatory. Okay, now listen. So what will this try block contain, or the try suite contain, or the try clause contain? This will contain the actual action to be taken. It means that the try block will always contain the operation, right? Asking, let me write here, asking son to get masala dosa. Asking son to get masala dosa. Is that okay? Asking son to get masala dosa. Right? So this is a function called, okay, this is the one, this is the actual action that has to be taken, and the actual action that has to be taken will be written as part of the try block. Is that clear? Is that clear? What does the try block contain? The try block contain the actual action that has to be taken, isn't it? Hello, yes or no? Correct? No? Correct? Right? Okay, let me write it over here. Let me 1 second. Okay, let me add more information now. So don't you know that there would be a lot of exceptions that could happen over here? So when this function returns, he might come with a masala dosa, or this function can actually raise an error also, isn't it? That's all, no, my dear friends. It could give you a lot of errors also. What are they? What is the first, what could be the first error? Except restaurant closed, restaurant closed exception. Okay, it could give you restaurant closed exception. Or what is the other exception it could give, my dear friends? Tell me. Except, okay, what is that? What is the other exception? Batter over exception, isn't it? Batter over exception. Or it could also give some other exception. What is it? Except, okay, except chef not available exception, isn't it? Chef not available exception, right? Chef not available exception, right? So this is called as except block or except suite or except clause, all these. Okay, so this will contain the code that you have to take care when the restaurant is closed. Okay, what has to be done? How do you handle this restaurant closed exception? Write it over here. And if the battery is over, what will you do? Right? No, write it over here. That code will be written over here. And when the chef is not available, what will you do? Write that code over here. Did you understand what I'm saying, my dear friends? Hello guys, do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so this is how you do exception handling. So the actual operation will be written as part of the try block. Okay, and if there is an exception that is happening, then that exception handling code can be written in the except block, so that you can recover from that particular error that has happened. Is that clear? So absolutely what you want to do over here is completely dependent on your program need, your project need, your program requirement, and so on and so forth. Is this clear till now? Do you want me to repeat this once again? Do you want me to repeat this once again, my dear friends? Tell me quickly. Is that clear? Hello, is that clear? Okay, so others keep quiet, and those who want me to repeat, just say repeat, so that I will repeat. Those who want me to repeat, say repeat, I will repeat. Okay, just say repeat in the chat box, I will repeat. Guys, once again, okay, repeat. Sneha wants me to repeat. Okay, now. Okay, okay, sir, charging is full. Okay, darling. Okay, fine, I'm removing it. Okay, now listen, guys. Okay, now listen. So what I'm trying to tell you is that how do you achieve, exception handling? To achieve exception handling, okay, we need, what are the blocks I told you? Can you tell me what are the blocks that I told you? We have a try block, then we have a except block, then we have an else block, and then we have a finally block, isn't it? Didn't I tell you that? Yes or no? So among these, which are optional? Which are optional among these? Okay, among these, which are optional? You remember those? Okay, this is only for people. Okay, others don't reply. Only for those students who said repeat. Only those people should actually respond to me. That's all. Okay, it's only for them. Others, please don't respond, because you have already understood. It is for those people who did not understand, right? So guys who asked me to repeat, did you understand? So there I asked that there are try, except, else, and finally. Yes or no? Did you understand that? Okay, so what? Yes or no? Yeah, those people who asked me to repeat, I'm telling it for you. I want you to respond quickly. Yeah, okay, cool. Now what will you write in the try block? In the try block, you're supposed to write the code. In the try block, you're supposed to write the code that could, okay, possibly, I mean, see, in the try block, this is the actual code that you want the program to do. It means this is the task that you have to accomplish. Is that clear? In the try block, you have to write that code, okay, which you have to accomplish. You want to do something, okay, you want to achieve something, okay, so that has to be written as part of your try block. The actual thing that you want to do will be written as part of your try block, the actual operation. Do you understand this? Hello, did you understand this, my dear friends? Hello, yes or no? Yeah, quickly, yeah, respond. No, faster. I'm waiting for your answer. Quickly, you're running out of time. Fast, you should be faster. Just because I'm slow, you cannot make use of that. Okay, I want you to be fast here. Be fast. Okay, only for those people who asked me to repeat quickly. So now this action may or may not be successful. Yes or no? This action may or may not be successful. Yes or no? Right? So if suppose this is successful, okay, no problem. If this is not successful, then what will it do? It will actually throw an, okay, we call it as throw. It will throw an exception, isn't it? It could throw an exception, right? So what should my code do? My code has written, okay, these code to handle the different exceptions, isn't it? So this code, if it is working fine, okay. If it is not working fine, what will it do? It will throw an exception. It will throw. In Python, okay, words, we call it as raise. I'll be discussing all this, don't worry. So in Python words, okay, if this asking son to get masala dosa did not work, if there was some kind of problem that happened in between, then this function will raise an exception. Okay, no? So it could be restaurant closed. It could raise restaurant closed exception. It could raise batter over exception. It could raise chef not available exception. Like that, different exception could be raised by this function. Is that clear? Hello, is that clear? Guys, hello, is it clear or not? Okay, so once he raises the exception, what is that we have to do? As a very good programmer, as a very good code, what is that we have to do? We have to handle it, isn't it? What is that we have to do? We have to handle it. Correct? Now when someone, that is when this function is telling that when the son comes and says that the restaurant is closed, what should Praveen do? Praveen should be able to handle it, right? Now, so where is that handling happening? That handling of that exception is happening in the except block. Is that okay? That handling is happening in the except block. Okay, so what has to be done when the restaurant is closed? Write the code over here. What has to be done when the battery is over? Write the code over here. What has to be done when the chef is not available? Write that code over here. Okay, so this is called as exception handling. Is that clear? Guys, is that clear now? Hello, guys, clear? Not clear? Okay. Hello, everyone. Now everyone can respond. Clear with this? Okay, so shall I go with the code now? Shall I go with the code now? Okay, if you understood so much, the class is over. Okay, the rest is easy for now, right? So the rest is easy, very simple, right? So I told you what is the difference between compile time error, logical error, and runtime error. And then note, all runtime errors are called as exceptions, and the process of handling runtime errors is called as exception handling. Is this line clear? Is that line clear, my dear friends? Hello, is this line clear with everyone? Now, the advantage of exception handling is the separation of exception detection code from the exception handling code, correct? No? So in the try block, you can have the exception detection code, and in the except block, you can have the exception handling code. So it means that you can write a neater way of writing program. In C language, this concept was not available, right? It was becoming more messy to handle such kind of exceptions in C language, but from C++, Java, Python, and all that, this concept of exception handling was rewritten, and it became very beautiful while handling errors, right? No, so the advantage, they'll ask you in interview, what is the advantage of exception handling, right? So you just give this one statement to them. The advantage of exception handling is the separation of exception detection code from the exception handling code. So they'll ask you, where will you write the exception detection code? Can you write that? Can you tell me in the chat box? Where will you put that exception detection code? In the try block. Very good. So where will you put that exception handling code? Where will you put that exception handling code? Okay, so you'll put that in the except block. Okay, so block is also called as what in Python? I told you earlier when I was discussing the for while and all that. Okay, what do you call it block as? You call it as a suite. I told you, no, is yeah, suite or a clause. Okay, so having said that, so these are the built-in exception classes. What are these, my dear friends? They are built-in exception classes. Okay, hello, put that in the chat box. These are the built-in. There are several. Okay, there are some hundreds of exception classes. Okay, but I cannot put all the hundreds of exception classes, and I don't even remember all that exception classes. No one, I don't think anyone in the world can remember all the 100 exception classes. But the key exception classes, which very frequently that we can expect or we encounter, has been written over here, right? So what is this? So this is the base class. Base exception is a base class, and from that we have three more classes inherited. And as you can see that these are all inheritance hierarchy. Hope you understood this. This is an inheritance hierarchy, isn't it, my dear friends? Okay, so how to write your own exception and all, I'll show you now, don't worry. Is this okay? Is this diagram, is this picture clear to all? Is this picture clear to all? Okay, so each classes is used for handling different kind, or to give you different kinds of errors. I'll show you what are all those in a while. Okay, now, okay, shall I proceed further? Right now, can you tell me what is happening over here? I have shown you different kinds of errors. Okay, runtime errors. Okay, while executing this, I have put that in the bold. Did you see that? So I am trying to say n comma x is equal to 5 comma 6 comma jack. Okay, so it gave me a value error. Okay, who gave this value error? Tell me. Python gave me this value error. It says, boss, Python interpreter gave me this value error saying that, boss, what are you trying to do? Too many values are there to unpack. I'm not able to do this. Yeah, dumb runtime error. So this is basically a value error, which is basically of type class, value error. Okay, so that's what I'm just trying to show it to you over here. Is that clear? Yeah, guys, is that clear or not? Are you understanding what I'm saying? So when you are trying to do this, the Python interpreter will give me a value error. Okay, it's a runtime error, right? Says that, no, I'm not able to do that. Okay, so what is the operation that I'm trying to do? The operation that I'm trying to do is adding this. I mean, I'm trying to assign this jack into a variable, but there is no variable to store this jack. So during runtime, there would be a value error. Okay, now what is happening over here? Can you see that? Okay, so what am I trying to do? I'm trying to access an index which is out of this, right? No, so again, the Python interpreter will give me an error saying that index error. Correct. Again, this is a runtime error. It is not able to do that. So this is called as an index error. It is trying to access the value. This is the operation that it is trying to do, but it is not possible. Therefore, the Python interpreter will give me an error called as index error. Hello, yes or no? Hello, yes or no? Okay. But first of all, answer me question. Am I handling the error over here? Am I handling it, or I'm just leaving it? Am I handling it or not? Am I handling it? Okay. I am not handling it. I'm not handling it. I'm just leaving it. I got an error. I'm just keeping quiet, isn't it? What do you mean by handling it? We have to write then accept, try and accept and all that, and then handle it, isn't it? Okay, so I should not leave it as it is, right? So, but I'm not handling it. I'm just showing you that there is, I'm getting an error. Later, I will show you how to handle it. Is that clear? Is that clear? I'll later show you how to handle it, right? Now, in this case, what is happening over here? Okay, it says that name error. Okay, that is A is not defined. Okay, similarly, I just say import to Subhash. Okay, so it says module not found error. There is no module by named Subhash. So I'm trying to just show you different kinds of errors that could actually occur, okay, during your program execution. Okay, so did you understand? Did you understand my intention of giving these errors to you? I just want to show you what kind of errors could actually happen or could occur during runtime when you're executing your program. Okay, so now slowly we'll let us start handling our errors one by one. Okay, so before that, shall we start with till here? Is that okay, guys? Till here, is it okay, my dear friends? Hello, is everything clear till here? Okay, so I'm proceeding further. Okay, so I hope you also understand index error also. Okay, so is it clear? Okay, and now coming to this first program, so just keep checking what is happening. I will be incrementally explaining you a lot of things via programs, okay, one by one. So having said that, so what is the first one? I'm importing math and say, in the comment box, I've just saying enter negative number to check what happens. Okay, so we have an input function. It is telling enter a number to compute the factorial of, and it will get converted into an integer and store it into num. And then I'm finding the factorial of a num. Correct now, my dear friends? Is this program clear? Nothing to worry about it. You know what is input function. You know what is int function. You know what is factorial function. You know that math is a module. Correct? So only thing is I want to now enter an input to it and see what is the input that I'm giving to this. Can you see that? Okay, can you see what is the input that I'm giving to it? I say -5, and what does it say? Guys, what does it say? Do you see that I'm giving? Can you see the output over here? Hello, can you see the output over here, my dear friends? Okay, can you see the output over here? So what does it say? Enter a number to compute factorial. I'll say I'll enter -5, and immediately it will give me an value error. It means that I will not be able to enter the negative value to this factorial function. So it is giving me a value error, right? No, it is not defined for negative values. It gives me some message also saying that factorial not defined for negative values or something like that. Okay, so did I handle this exception over here, my dear friends? Tell me, did I handle the exception? But did the exception occur, by the way? Is there an exception over here? Did the exception occur? Correct. What is the exception? What is the type of the exception? Can you tell me what is the type of the exception? What is the type of the exception? What is the type of the exception? It is value error. Correct. Exception has occurred. Okay, now let me see what is happening in this program. Okay, now see here what I've done here, my dear friends. See here what I've done. It's not a great program, okay, but still I'm just showing you how to handle it in a more simplistic manner. Okay, so same thing happened, but now which was the one? What was the function that we wanted to actually achieve? What is the main function over here? It was finding the factorial, isn't it? We wanted to find the factorial, correct? So you know that factorial function. See, did you see that? I'm putting that particular statement within this try block. Did you see that? Did you see that, my dear friends? Do you understand? So we know that factorial is the function which is going to either it will compute the factorial for us, or if there is a problem, it will actually raise an error to us, isn't it? It will raise an error. Correct now, my dear friends? Hello, I want you to compare the program 1 with program 2. Okay, so we know that factorial could either be successful, it will successfully find the factorial, or it could actually give us an error. Correct? No. So here in that case, so I put that actual operation in the try block, which is for which I want to find the factorial. And if it is giving me the factorial, well and good, it's okay. I will print it on the screen. But there are chances that factorial can also be factorial can also give us an error that we saw in the first program, right? So what did I do now? First, listen to me what happened. So I'm running this code. I wanted to see the output. I'm running this code. So I'm saying enter the number to compute the factorial of 5. What am I saying? I'm saying -5, right? So when I give -5 and then say math.factorial of -5, what will it raise? What error will it raise? What error will it raise? Quickly here, I cannot repeat. You have to say very faster. What error? Value error, isn't it, my dear friends? So it is throwing in value error, correct? No, it is like this, right? So you called for this is your Python program. This is your Python program py. Okay, py program, and you called for a what is that? Factorial. Okay, you called for factorial. Okay, and factorial was there. Okay, so you wrote a method factorial, okay, and while factorial, after seeing that negative input, you know what it did? It saw that if okay, n is less than 0 or something like this. I mean, I'm not sure what code they have written, but I'm just trying to guess. Okay, so they would have written something like this: if the value that was entered is n is less than 0, okay, yeah, and are you understanding what I'm writing here? I'm writing the code, probable code that they would have written here, correct? So then what they will do is they will say raise value error. It is telling raise value error. Okay, no, it means it is throwing a value error. But boss, I'm not able to do. Come on, take it, handle it if you wish to. I'll not be able to do. I'm throwing an error over here, value error. So immediately what happens? This error will come to my program back. And what happens? Either you can handle it, or in the first program, I did not handle it. The program crashed. Did you see that? The program crashed by saying that not defined. But here, you know, in this program, what am I doing? I'm saying except value error. It means if you are throwing me a value error, then I am going to do this operation. In my case, what is that operation? I'm just simply printing cannot compute the factorial of negative number. That's all. Did you see that? Cannot compute the factorial of negative number will get printed. I mean, I'm just showing you, but you'll have to do much better than this. But I'm just showing you that this statement will get printed, okay, when you actually catch it and, you know, write the code over here. This is called as exception handling code. Clear? Not clear? Clear? Not clear? Okay, no? Praveen, if I don't know the name of an error, you must know. That's the only thing. You must know, right? No, so you must know. You cannot say I don't know. So if you don't know, it'll automatically give you an error, right? Value error or something. It is going to give you an error, and you have to use it. Okay, you cannot memorize anyways. Okay, or if I use some other name, Praveen Kumar, can you please unmute yourself? Praveen, unmute yourself and talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Tell me your doubt.
Sir, so here except value error, right? So instead of value error, if I use some other name, will
One
it
minute,
work,
one minute,
sir?
1 minute, 1 minute. Why you want to use some other name?
Because I don't
It
know
is
what
just because you don't
error.
know, you'll use whatever you want. Huh? You are saying that, see, boss, if you are giving me value error, I am handling it.
Acha. Okay, sir.
Why are you thinking
Yes.
something extra and all?
No.
See, you should think extra, but no, this kind of extra is bad. See, see, factor, I'm very clearly saying that it is giving you value error.
Yes, sir.
Correct, no? Then
Yes,
you
sir.
have to
Sir,
handle value error. You know, if you say I will write something else, means how does it work?
sir, for handling, I have to know all the errors
You
which are
must
available.
definitely know. You're a Python programmer. You have to know that is why company is paying you money.
Yes. Okay,
Yes
sir.
or no? If you're not getting that error, if suppose, see, real time, I'll tell you what happens. You don't know that error. I know that there are hundreds of errors like this, okay, and you cannot memorize all that. So what you will do is you will write the code and you will run the code and you get an error. So obviously you get the error. It shows the Python interpreter is giving you an
Yes.
error, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It is giving or not giving.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It
So
will.
what you will do after taking that error?
I will accept and will place that
No,
particular error.
immediately you have to take that error, go to
Yes,
the
sir.
Python documentation.
Acha.
Okay, after going to Python documentation, you have to Google. Okay, you can go to python.org. That is a main documentation of Python. Okay, you go to that website. Okay, and then you can also use help in Python. You can also help and you can check that. Okay, but the better way is go to the python.org. Okay, put this over there and see what does this actually do. Okay, so immediately in the Python documentation, all the details about this particular error would have been given, and immediately you'll get to know, oh, okay, this error has occurred because of this. Fine, I got it now, right? Praveen, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it.
Now, like this, you will get some 10 errors in your 6 months of experience. Assume 10 errors you get in 6 months of experience, right? So now, don't you have experience now? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
With
I
this
do.
experience, you're going to some other company and you're asking for 30 to 50% hike, and they are paying you money not for Python knowledge. It is for the knowledge of that experience that you have. You have encountered this problem. No? That is why.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it.
Clear? Not clear.
Yes. Clear, sir. Clear, sir. Got it.
Others clear? Not clear. Guys, clear? Not clear. Hello, guys, clear? Not clear. Did you understand? Okay, no? Okay, so having said that, my dear friend, so here I got an value error and I'm handling it. Is this program okay? Is this program okay? Isn't it the same as if else? Absolutely no. This is not the same as if and else. Okay, if and else is together, right? Now this is just for handling your your value errors. Okay, so when you are raising an error, okay, your else condition will not be satisfied. It is not as if it is absolutely totally different from if else. Okay, once you complete the lesson, Ankur, you'll understand how it is how it is different. Okay, now it is absolutely not as same as if or else. Okay, if and else, right? No, I was telling something. Yeah. So guys, did you understand the difference between these two? You understand the difference between program 1 and program 2? Yes, no? Yes, no. Did you understand? So there I did not handle. Now I am handling over here. Is that okay? Clear? Clear, clear, clear. Okay. Now, okay. So Ankur was asking, is it not same as if and else? Okay. In C language, we used to do the same thing using if and else. In C language, we used to do the same thing using if and else, and it becomes very messy. Okay. It means that for each and every function, suppose if I want to open a file, read, write, and close the file, then you know what happens? First, to open the file, I'll have to check whether it gives an error or not using if else. Then for reading, again I'll have to check whether it is giving an error or not. Then for even writing, I'll check whether it is giving or not. Okay, so like that for each and everything, it becomes very messy up, right? Now, so that is the reason we use exception handling, where all the exception detection will be in one place and all exception handling will be in another place using except block. Okay, you'll get to know that. Okay, so let me first proceed further. Okay, now what is happening in this case, my dear friends? I think this would somewhere, okay, it's a better version of program 2. Just check out. Okay, just check out. I'm giving you time to just check out. Okay, so don't you think it is a better version? So first what happens is that, okay, say enter a number to compute the factorial of, okay, and assume that I gave -5. Guys, are you with me? Just say with you in the chat box. Just say with you in the chat box so that I can proceed further. Are you guys with me? Yeah, with me. Okay, super. So what happens is, it is asking me to enter number to compute the factorial of, and if I enter -1, sorry, -5 or whatever it is, -5. So what does this num contain now? Tell me, what does this num contain? Can you tell me what does this num contain? Guys, quickly, what does this num contain? Quickly, here, come on, I entered -5. No, what does num contain? Num will contain -5. Okay, and then what is valid input containing? What is valid input containing now? Okay, quickly, what is valid input containing? Valid input containing false, correct? And then there is a while loop over here. While not of valid input, what does this become? What does this become? Not of valid input will become what? Not of false will become what? True. Not of true. Okay, now I can come inside and I'm trying to find the factorial of num. Okay, I'm trying to find the factorial of num. When I try to find the factorial of -5, what will factorial raise? What will factorial throw? Will it work? Will it work? Will it give me the factorial? No, right? Internally it is throwing one value error, correct? No. So what is it I have to do? I will have to handle it. See here, I'm handling it over here. Immediately the controller will come to value error and it says cannot compute the factorial of negative numbers. Okay, and then I will say re-enter. I will say re-enter. Did you see that? Okay, like, is it remembering? Are you remembering your ATM kiosk, that scenario which I told you? Are you remembering? It says re-enter. And where does the control go to now? Where does the control go to? Okay, assume you entered once again. Once again, if you enter, assume that you entered -5 once again. Assume you enter -5 once again. What is num containing now? What is num containing now? Or you entered -6 or something. -6. Okay, let us assume -6. You entered -6. If it is -6, what does num contain? Num is containing -6. And where does the control go to? The control will again come to while. Now, while, okay, what will happen? Not of valid input. What is a valid input? What is valid input? Okay, it becomes false, and therefore not a valid input is true. No, again it is true, right? So not of false is true, and again it will say, okay, it is now finding the factorial of -6. Okay, when it finds the factorial of -6, what will happen? Can you tell me? Factorial is now trying to find the factorial of -6. What will happen, my dear friends? Tell me. Okay, will it throw an error? Will it throw an error? Okay, it will throw an error. So am I handling it over here? Again, it says cannot compute the factorial of negative numbers, correct? Okay, then it says input please re-enter. Now I will enter a positive value 5. Once I enter a positive value 5, what will happen? Again, it goes to the, okay, while loop. So while not a valid input becomes true, while true, it will enter inside. It now finds the factorial of a number. So factorial of a 5 will actually be, found out. So will it work? Factorial will work now, right? Will it throw an error? Will it throw an error? Yeah. Will it throw an error? It won't throw an error. And therefore it will, it will come to the next statement, right? It comes to the next statement and say valid input is equal to true. Valid input is equal to true. It will happen, correct? No, valid input is now true. Will it come to the except block? Will it come to this block here? Will it come to this block? No, right? Why? There was no error. Only if there is an error raised, only I will be able to come here. So I will not be able to come over here. So then what happens? Okay, again I'll go back to the while loop and I'll say while not a valid input. Valid input has now become true. Did you see that? And not of true becomes false, and therefore I will come out of the while loop. That's all. Do you understand this? Guys, you understand this, how to handle this? So this is how you basically handle these exceptions. Okay, this is the perfect way, an improved way of program 2. Clear, guys? Is that clear? Hello guys, is that clear? Did you understand? how it is working? Okay, now, right. So having said that, okay, coming to this now, right, let me. Okay, so can you tell me what is happening in this case now? What is happening in this case? Okay, so shall we start from here? Okay, keep answering my question. Okay, what is valid is equal to? From here it starts, valid is equal to false. Okay, now what is this? What is this? Can you tell me? Put that in English. What is this? Month name. Don't tell me tuple. Tell me tuple of what? Tell me clearly. Don't tell me tuple. Tell me what is a tuple of what? Tuple of strings. Correct? No? Tuple of strings. It is a tuple of strings. Correct? Okay. Then while not valid. Okay. While not valid becomes true, isn't it? While not valid becomes true, isn't it? Okay. While not valid becomes true. Yes or no? It becomes true. So can I enter into the while loop? Can I enter into the while loop? Okay. So there is a try block over here which says get month. Okay. There is a method, or there is a function get month, isn't it? Right. So where does the control go to? Where does the control go to? Can you tell me where does the control go to? Where does the control go to? It goes to the definition of get month. Correct? No? Right? Now, then what happens in this? I'm saying enter the current month 1 to 12. I'm saying enter 1 to 12. Can you give me some number? Shall I give 13? I'm going to give 13. It is asking me to enter the current month from 1 to 12. I'm entering 13, isn't it? So once I enter 13, what is happening? What is there in the month? What is there in the month? Yeah, can you quickly tell me? What is there in month is 13th, isn't it? Okay, and then I'll check if month is less than 1 or month is greater than 12. Okay, so if month is less than 1 or greater than 12, will it match? Yes or no? So I'll enter into the if condition, isn't it? So what am I throwing? Throwing is nothing but raise. I told you, no, it is raise. I am raising this value error. I am raising it, right? No, so is this Python interpreter raising or me raising it? That is get month raising it. Who is raising it? Okay, in the earlier case, in the earlier program, who raised it? In the earlier program, who raised it? Factorial function raised it. Did you see that? Factorial function, it was a built-in function. Factorial function raised it, but here who is raising it? Get month is raising it, right? No, because I've written the code like that, raise error. So the moment raise error happens, what happens? Okay, immediately the control will come to this except, okay, to the nearest except, that is a catch block, and this will get matched, and it says invalid month entry. Hello, did you understand what I'm trying to tell you here? Okay, so this is the exception detection, and this is the exception catching or exception handling block, right? So this is the one who which raised an error. That is get month is the function which actually raised an error, which was caught in the except block. Hello, are you understanding what I'm saying, my dear friends? Guys, are you understanding what I'm saying? Hello, do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so in this case, get month is the month which is user defined. I wrote it over here. Okay, now I want you to go through this program. I'm not helping you now. I want you to do it yourself. If I help you, you won't understand. Okay, I want you to try yourself. Now give the value as 2 and tell me what will happen, and say if you have understood this code or not. I'm waiting. You can tell me. If I'm entering the input as 2, go through this program, okay, step by step, and tell me if you could understood, if you can understand or not. From first everything, and then I'll proceed further. You understand? Because I'm not going to go through this until when you go through this only you will be able to understand. I'll give you time. Clear? Guys, is that clear? Everyone okay with that? Clear? Anyone doubt or anything you have here in this program? Shall I proceed? Just say proceed in the chat box. If you say proceed, I will proceed with the proceed. Okay, right. Now you can handle it, right? I mean, you can just check this out later. Okay, so what is the change that we have here? Can you tell me? What is the change? What is the change, my dear friends? Observe the code. Observe the code slowly, not in a hurry. Observe the code and tell me what is the change. Tell me what all changes you noticed. Do you want me to show the previous code to you? The beauty of you analyzing it yourself is totally different. Okay. Yes, Ankur. Yes, yes, yes. That is how it is. This is how the class name. This is basically a class name. Okay. This is a class name as I showed you, right? It is, see, like this. Did you see that? These are all class names. Okay. So these are called as camel case way of writing class names. Okay. So let me give you something out of the topic now. Okay. Not out of the topic, but it is part of the object-oriented principles. Whenever you're writing class names that has multiple words like this, then you can actually, have each word's starting letter to be in caps. Is that clear? They are called as camel case way of writing the class names. So to indicate that it is a class name. Is that clear, my dear friends? Did you see that? Everywhere, if there are two class names, right, the starting letter is a caps. Did you see that? Okay, right. In Java program, execution will start from the main method. Here in Python, from where execution will start, we have multiple methods. Very good. Nagmani is asking me now after so many classes. Okay, so it Nagmani, are you not understanding what I'm teaching you till now, Nagmani? Okay, it is there are so many methods. So the one which does not have a method, it starts from here. Okay, so it cannot. Can it execute here, Nagmani? Tell me. Can your program execute from def method? Someone has to call this, right? If there are methods or functions, can it, Nagmani, answer me this question? uh, the question is, if suppose, see, you tell me from where should it start. Can your program start from inside this function? Can it start from inside this function, Nagmani? Tell me. Someone has to call this, right? Yes or no? So it always starts from here, which is not part of any function, isn't it? That is why it starts. Okay, so just think, you'll only get to know. Yeah, you'll only get to know. See here. Okay, if there are so many functions, there should be somewhere it has to be called, right? So it starts from here, it is not from here. Okay, if you show me the program, we can you can automatically analyze. So go to all my previous programs and see from where it has been starting and all that, you'll understand. Okay, now, so guys, okay, what is the difference over here with the program 4 and program 5? Okay, so what is the difference? Can you tell me? Okay, did you see here? I am collecting it as an object. Okay, except value error as, again, a keyword. Okay, as error message. Okay, this is not a keyword. Okay, this is, I'm just collecting the object. Okay, so now let me explain this to you very clearly. Hold on. Are you all with me? It will take some time. Not some time. It only needs your what is that? Complete attention. That's all. Are you all with me? Just say with you. Okay, let me slowly get into it. Okay. Okay, first of all, answer this question to me. Okay, guys, answer this question to me slowly. Forget about this. Answer what will happen if I say L is equal to, okay, human being. If I write like this, what will happen? If I write like this, what is the meaning of this? Just tell me what all could happen if I write L is equal to human being. What is happening over here? Creating an object. Very good. It is creating an object, isn't it? Okay, very good, very good, very good. Super. It is creating an object. Okay. So what is the object name? It is L, correct? It is L, correct? No? Okay, right. Super cool. Right. Now, having said that, okay, 1 second. Okay. Now, okay, so let me have it over here. L is equal to object. So after creating object, I'm actually, putting the reference into L, isn't it? After creating the object, I'm putting the reference into L. Okay. So now, if now if I say human being of, hi or something like this, then tell me what is happening over here. What is happening over here? Can you tell me? You remember, if you remember classes and objects, tell me what is happening here. When you say L is equal to human being of hi, what will happen? Quickly, at least one. What will happen? It is passing arguments, isn't it? Exactly, exactly. Very good. It is passing an argument to the init method. Correct? No? Agree, disagree with me? It is passing this argument to init method, isn't it? Hello, yes or no? It is passing it to the init method, correct? Okay, right, right. Did you understand that? If that is there, okay, it is like this. All right. For those people who did not understand, who did not do the revision, okay, who always waits for others to answer first, for those people, listen. Okay, so for those people who are not doing the revision, okay, for those people, listen to me. Okay, so class human being, okay, so def, okay, def underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Okay, so what will be there? Can you tell me? Self, comma, okay, I will call it as s or something, isn't it, my dear friends? and then I can actually write it as self dot string or whatever it is equal to s. Correct? No? Hello? If I say like this hi will come and sit in yes. Hi will come and sit in yes, and then that yes will get stored into the instance variable str of this object. Is that clear? Hello guys, is that clear? This one clear? If you have done the revision, if you have understood my class properly, then you will be able to understand what I'm saying. Okay, is that clear? That is why I gave you 1 day complete for doing the revision. Okay, now if you have understood this, let us proceed further because this is very important over here. Now listen, shall I start from here now? Guys, I'm starting from here. So what is the first thing? We have valid is equal to false. Okay, we have valid is equal to false. Is that clear, guys? Is that clear? Valid is equal to false. Guys, I want you to respond quickly, no, else I'll not know. Right? Valid is equal to false. So what is this line? What is this line? Quickly tell me. What is this line? Month name is equal to what? I mean, what is this month name? Tuple of strings. Tuple of strings. Okay. Now, while not valid will become what? While not valid will become what? While not will become true. Okay. I'll enter into this while loop and then I will say get month. Correct? No? I'm saying get month. Isn't it, my dear friends? Let me remove this. Okay. I'm saying get month. When it says get month, okay. So where does the control go to? The control will go to this part, isn't it? The control will go to this part, correct? Okay. And then enter current month 1 to 12. Okay. So I will enter 13. I will enter 30. So what will this month contain? What will this month contain? This month will contain 30. Okay. If 13 is less than 1 or 13 is greater than 12, so what should happen? It will raise an error. Okay, no, it will raise value error. Okay. So can you notice something similar to what I just explained now? Did you see that? Can you see something that I explained over here? Okay. So this is a string and this is the name of the class. Did you see that? This is the name of the class and this is a string that I'm passing. Did you see that? Hello guys. Did you see that? Hello. Hello. Did you see that? Okay. So what is value error? What is value error? What is value error? Tell me no. What is value error? It is a class and I am creating an object, isn't it? Am I not creating an object over here? Hello guys, am I not creating an object over here? Only thing is I'm not taking it anywhere over here for now. Okay, I'm creating an object and I'm saying raise. It means that, okay, this entire thing is basically creating an object and the object's reference is being thrown, which will be collected, okay, here in this error message. Okay, so wherever you have L over here, no, that is equivalent to this error message. Is that clear? Guys, is that clear what I'm saying? Okay, so this object will be, will come and sit in this particular object. So accept value error as error message. Okay, and then when I print this error message, this invalid month value will get printed. Okay, so see here, where is that? Have I written here? Invalid month value. Did you see that? When I enter something called as 23, invalid month value. I'll explain. Don't worry. I'll explain. Don't worry. Okay. So till here, did you understand? My dear friends, till here, did you understand? I am creating an object and I'm actually passing that object that will come and sit in error message. Now, what is error message? Can you tell me? What is error underscore message? Can you tell me what is this error underscore message? Quickly tell me. What is the error underscore message? It is an object. Hey, who is that? Sumati, I'll come and kill you now. What is this error message? What is this error message? Error message is an object of value error, isn't it? It is like it is an object. See, instead of putting into L, I'm just throwing that and it is collected an error message, correct? Yes or no? Okay. Now, when I print this object, what will happen? Tell me. When I print this message, what will happen to this? Can you tell me? Guys, tell me what will happen if I print this message actually. Okay, it will become error message, okay, dot underscore underscore str underscore underscore, open the bracket, close the bracket, will get called, correct? Yes or no? It will call the str internally, correct now, my dear friends? Hello. Okay, so whose str will it call? Whose str will it call? Whose str will it call? Quickly, yaar, quickly. Okay, it will call str method quickly until you say. I will not say. You tell me whose. Okay, whose str will it get called? Exactly, correct, very good. It will call the str method of the error message, and error message is an object of value error. Therefore value errors str method will be called. Okay, not okay, yeah. Okay, not okay. I asked you to revise and come classes and objects. You will not do. Okay, and you will say did not understand. See properly. Okay, so you are calling str method belonging to which object? Error message. Error message is belonging to whom? It is belonging to value error. Correct? No. So it means that don't you think this class value error must have defined str method? Yes or no? Don't you think this value error class must have defined str method? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah. Now, if I start explaining all that, then again I'll have to go back to classes and objects, right? No. So str method is defined inside the value error. So the way it has been defined is to return this invalid month value as the output. Okay, let me write that also. You are making me write that also. Let me write it. Okay, so in the class, I mean, I'm not seen, but I'm assuming or I'm trying to give you, it works like this only. Don't worry. Okay, this is value error. Okay, inside this, they have defined def underscore underscore str. Okay, now they have defined this. Okay, sorry, they define underscore underscore str. Okay, and inside this, you know what they are doing? You are returning the string that you actually passed here. The string that you have passed, no, that would be, see, when you're passing this, okay, listen, what will happen when you're passing this would go and be collected somewhere in an instance variable in value error. Yes or no? See here, yeah, are you understanding what I'm saying? When you're creating an object of human being and passing this argument, it would be collected somewhere, no, in the str method or something like that. I don't know whether you guys are understanding or not. Okay, see, are you understanding what I'm saying? See, I'll replace this. Okay, see, this will become value error. This will become value error. You guys are not responding. I'm not knowing whether you're understanding or not. Okay, this will become value error. So in the value error, what is happening? What are you passing as part of value error? Tell me, what are you passing? You are passing invalid month value. Invalid month value. Correct? No, invalid month value string you are passing. Correct? And now what happens here? What will this become? Keep replacing this. What will happen over here? It will become value error. Correct? No, this will become value error. Correct? Value error. Okay, and this, what will this s contain now? This s will contain what? This s will contain what? Invalid month value. Correct? And this invalid month value is stored in str, no? Yes or no? In the init method it will be stored here, no? Yes or no? Right. Now this value error is also containing one more method. What is that? This value error will also contain one more method. What is that? What is that one more method? Quickly tell me. Str method. Correct? What is that? Okay, def underscore underscore str underscore underscore, open the bracket, close the bracket. Okay, so here it would say return, okay, str. Is that okay? Return str. Is that clear now, guys? Is that clear? Hello, is that clear now? Right, so shall we do this from first once again? Okay, so shall I do this from first once again? Okay, now first what happens? Valid is equal to false. Valid is equal to false. You have a tuple, while not valid true, get month. So when I say get month, it will go to this month, take the input, some wrong input 13, and if month is less than 1 or month is greater than 12, then raise a value error. So what is happening in this line? Can you tell me what is happening in this line when I say value error, invalid month value? Tell me quickly what is happening over here, this line. What is happening in this line? This line is creating an object, isn't it? This is creating an object. Okay, while creating an object, what will it call? It will call the init method, isn't it? It will call the init method. And what is the value that it is passed? Invalid month value. Invalid month value will get passed over here, and then it will raise. Once it raises this, error, that is an object is created. This object will get passed where? Where will it go and sit? Where will it go and sit? It is raising, means it has to accepting here. See here, it is accepting here. No, whenever there is a raise, it will go to the place where it has to be handled. So who called get month? Try. Below that there is an accept. See here, it comes and sits here in value error. It comes and sits as this an object. Okay, so this error will come and sit as an object over here, and then I am printing that. Okay, I'm printing that error message. When I print that object, what will happen? Whenever you're printing an object, what will happen? The dunder str method with respect to that object gets called, right? So the object is error message belonging to the value error class. So the str method of this will get called, which is returning that string. That string is nothing but invalid month value, and that is getting printed as output. When you try to give some invalid input, no, it will give you invalid month value. Clear, guys? Is that clear now? Guys, is that clear now? Hello? Yes or no? Easy, difficult, not understanding, whatever it is. Tell me, what do you feel? Clear, easy, not understanding. You are not teaching properly, not understanding. Whatever you feel, you can tell, right? Okay, right, clear. Okay, okay, so I'm going to this. Okay, okay, so like how I've done this. So this is a program for self analysis. Okay, so this program is used to find the display the number of occurrences of a specified word within a given text file. So I think this was one of your assignments. You remember, this was one of your assignments. This program will display the number of occurrences of a specified word within a given text file. How many words are there in a text file? This will give you. So I've given the complete program over here, and this is a program for self analysis. Okay, so if you can go through this code all by yourself, then it is worth 10 classes of exception handling. Okay, it is actually, instead of someone teaching you 10 times exception handling, if you can go through this program once or twice, it is more than enough. You'll understand a lot of things, and this is how the real-time code will look like in your industry. And I want you to read this code. Okay, so you'll remember me once you go to the industry. Okay, rather than writing code, you will spend most of your time in reading others code. Have you heard this? Someone telling you? If or any experienced people are there, you will be getting to know this, right? So in industry, you won't write much of your code. Rather, you will be reading code what others have actually written, right? So you should read such kind of code to understand it. So will you do that? Not will you do that, you have to do that. Is that okay? This is your program for self analysis, and you have to do this. Fine, clear? Okay, it's a very simple code. Everything has been discussed. Okay, just I showed you how it works. This is a logic. Okay, now shall we write our own user defined? Okay, user defined exception. Who defined value error? Whose class is value error? Is it predefined? Is value error predefined or I defined? Is value error predefined or I defined? Hey, who is that? You defined? I will come and kill you now if I defined. It was defined, it was predefined. See, is value error mine? Value error is given by Python interpreter. The class value error is written by Python, not me. See here, they're all standard classes. Value error, lookup error, arithmetic error. All these are standard errors, signifying different kinds of errors, isn't it? Yes or no? Hello, yes or no? Yeah, it is a predefined, right? So now I'm showing how to write your own class or your own exception. Okay, now see. So this is, did you see the name? Did you see the name, my dear friends? What is the name that I've given? Like instead of value error, I've given my own name. What is this? User defined exception. Do you see that? User defined exception. And if you want to create your own exception class, it has to be inherited from, okay, the exception. Did you see that? It has to either exception, it has to either inherit from base exception or exception. Okay, it is mandatory because Ankur yesterday was asking, sir, can you give some application for inheritance? Did you see that? See this application over here, Ankur? If you see that, this exception class gives all the basic necessities that is needed for handling exceptions. Okay, so like taking up the strings and all that. From this, we can actually utilize those attributes from this exception and create our own class. You see that value error is inheriting from exception, lookup error is inheriting from exception, and arithmetic error is inheriting from exception, and like that. Okay, so like that, if suppose I want to create my own exception, then it is mandatory that I have to inherit from the exception class, else you will not be able to create your own exception. Did you see that? Okay, so this is my user defined exception, and you know that this is inheritance. Okay, now did you understand why I am teaching this lesson before one more lesson? There is one more lesson as lesson 14 that has nothing to do with inheritance and all that, so I thought I'll first complete it off before you forget inheritance. Yes or no? You'll forget inheritance, my dear friends? You'll forget or not? I think you'll forget inheritance, and that is why before you forget, I can teach it off, right? Okay, right. So did you understand this? So now so have I defined one dunder method over here? Did you see that I've defined dunder method, init method, self comma message? Hello, I want you to observe this. So this is my message. This is my user defined exception. This is my user defined class. Is this clear? Then I can proceed further. If this is clear, I can proceed further. This is my user defined exception class. Okay. Now, so I have a try block. So I'm saying enter the name. I'm saying enter the name. And if suppose I enter some empty name, if I give some empty name, it will raise user defined exception. That is, it is raising. Instead of in the earlier program, it raised what? Value error. You remember? It raised value error, isn't it? Hello, guys. Yesterday in the previous program, it did raise value error. So that value error was not mine. It was the predefined. But here now I've written my own exception, user defined exception, and I am passing arguments. Did you see that? No empty string allowed. Correct. So can you tell me where does it this no empty string will go and sit? Where does it go and sit? See, I'm creating an object. Yeah, there's an object. I'm creating an object. You're understanding or not? It is going and creating and sitting in an object. Okay, and that will sit in message. And then once I'm raising it, where is it going and sitting now? Tell me, where does this object go and sit? Okay, this object will come and sit in message because I've raised an exception. Okay, so this except block will be, over here. It will accept this. Okay, it is handling this error of, it is handling the exception of user defined exception as this message here. Clear? Hello. And then I'm just printing it. So when I'm printing it, it just says no empty string allowed. So did you see that there is no str message over here? If there is no, if there is no str method defined in this class, if it is not defined, from where is it actually printing this error message and all that? From where is it printing? Can you tell me? Message, no empty string allowed. Hello. I wanted to answer my question. Guys, is it really, yeah, from exception class, from the inherited, because it is inheriting from this class, right? Okay. Do anyone want me to explain this once again? Do you want me to repeat, or is it becoming out of bounds? What do you think? Guys, is it easy, or you're understanding, or what do you feel? You're finding it difficult? What is that? See, if you have not done the revision, you will definitely feel, it is difficult. Okay, fine. Let me explain once again. By the way, you know what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to listen. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create my own exception class. See, like we have the standard value error. Okay. Did you see that? Whose classes are these? Value error class, lookup error, arithmetic error, zero division. Whose classes are these? Tell me. Whose classes are all these? Is it mine? It's all Pythons. It has come with built-in Python classes, isn't it? They're all Python's classes, and we have been using it. Now I want to write my own, exception class. See, when do you get value error? Tell me, when do you get value error? See here, when do you get value error? Okay, when you are not able to actually, assign a proper value to it, or where you get an index error when you're actually accessing, out of bounds, or you'll get a name error when you're using the name without defining it, isn't it? For each and every scenario, you have a different error. Correct? No, yeah. Correct? No. Okay. But the Python has not given an error to see if I give an empty string to a name, and if empty string has been given to a name, then I want my program to generate one new kind of error. You're understanding? I want to design my own errors. I want to design my own exception. Are you understanding? Like how index error is there, how value error is there, how like different name error is there. Like that, I want to define my own exception class. Clear? Are you understanding? Guys, understanding or not? I want to design my own exception class, right? So that my own exception class is user defined exception. See here, I've used the class, I've used the name here. So this is called as user defined exception. Clear? Hello, is it clear or not? So it says if I want to create my own user defined exception, then it is mandatory that I have to inherit from the exception, because exception gives me lot of utilities. Okay, so that I can handle the exception properly. Clear or not? Clear or I see little bit of thinking is needed from your end. Little bit of thinking. You definitely need little bit of thinking. Okay. Now, okay. So now I'm just testing it. Now I want to test it whether how it works or not, right? So can you please answer? So where should I write the error detection code? Where should I write the error detection code? Okay, in the try. Where is the error exception handling to be done? Where should I handle the exception? In the except block, isn't it? Okay, so in the try block, did you see here what I'm saying? I'm saying enter the name. In the try block, I'm saying enter the name, isn't it? Did you see that? I'm saying enter the name. Okay, say for example, I could have entered Subhash. Let me first write Subhash. Okay, I'm entering Subhash. If I enter Subhash, what is there in S? What is there in S? Put that in the chat box. What is there in S? Subhash is there. So if S is equal to empty, if S equal to empty, no. In that case, will I come to the else part? Will I come to the else part? Will I come to the else part or not? Hey, who is that? No. If S is not equal to M, if it is S is not equal to empty, then I'll come to the else part, no? Then I'll print, what will I print? Subhash, correct? I'll print Subhash. Now, will I come to the except block? Will I come to this except block, my friends? You tell me. Will I come to this except block? I will not come. Okay. This is one scenario. What is the other scenario now? The other scenario is that, okay, instead of entering the name, I'm just giving, say empty. I'm just giving an empty space. Just I'll press space and I'll keep quiet. So if S equal to space, isn't it? Will this become true? Will this become true? It will become true, correct? In that case, what am I doing here? Okay, I am raising an exception. Did you see that? I am raising an exception. In all our earlier programs, we raised an exception, but those exceptions were built in, isn't it? It was built in. It was built in by the Python guys. It was a predefined class. But now I am raising whose exception now? It is my own exception. Did you see that? And now I am raising my own exception. Did you see that? I'm raising my own exception. I have created a class, right? Now when I'm creating, so to raise an exception, what does it have to do? Don't you think I have to create an object? I have to create an object, right? Like how you did it. So I'm creating an object. See, in the previous case, you created an object, if you remember. See, value error object. Did you create an object or not? Right? So similarly here, but that value error belonged to Python people. It was predefined. But for now, what am I doing here? What am I doing? Where is it? What am I doing? This is my own. This is my own exception, and I am passing an value to it, string to it. Okay. So when I'm creating an object, what will get called? Init method will get called, right? Yes or no? This method will get called, isn't it or not? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay, this method will get called, and this string will go and sit where? Where will this go? String go and sit? It will go and sit in message, and this message will go and sit in this instance variable. Okay, so don't you think now an object is created? This entire thing will create an object. Hello, yes or no? And now I am raising that object. Okay, when I raise that, okay, tell me where does the control come to? It means an error has been occurred. Okay, an exception has occurred. It means I have to come to the except block. Agree, disagree? I have to come to the except block, and in the except block, I have, it is matching. I have given here user defined exception. It is matching here, isn't it? And now when I get this, I am storing this information, this object in particular object. I'm just catching it in this object, isn't it? I'm catching this in this object. Agree, disagree here, guys? Okay, he is throwing it. I am catching it in the form of object. Okay, why am I catching this in the form of object? Can you tell me why am I catching this here? Let me come back to this place. Okay, let me come back to this place. By the way, why am I catching this in the form of an object over here? Why am I catching it in the form of object? I am catching it in the form of object because this object is only containing information about why this error happened. Yes or no? The only way to put this error message is to wrap that into a particular object. I am putting that into an object. It is like the son who went to get masal dosa, okay, did not get masal dosa. There was a battery closed. So instead of coming home, what he did is that he took a sheet of paper, he wrote the error message, okay, he made a ball out of that paper, he threw to the father, and father will catch that ball and he will open that and read that message. Agreed? Did you understand what I'm saying? So this value error, you know what he's doing? This, he says invalid month value. He will wrap it up in the form of object, and that object is thrown. That object is caught over here, and then I'm printing that object. So that will give me the error message. Are you understanding? Yeah. Did you understand, guys? Few people are saying understood. Few people are saying yes, yes. I am not knowing whether you understood or not. Okay. Right. So similarly, what am I doing over here? Okay, I'm just saying user defined exception. So I'm giving that information, wrapping it in the form of an object, and that object will be thrown, which would be caught in this message. And then I finally print that message. Okay. But actually I should have written one str method over here, but this str method, no, when I print this message, what will happen? Answer my question. This is an object, right? When I'm trying to print this object, what should happen? It should call the str method. But see there, here my str method is not there. Did you see that? My str method is not there. It is not defined over here. So if it is not defined, from where will it actually call? Tell me. Okay, it will call from its base class, isn't it? Which is nothing but exception. Do you understand now why it is exactly, it has been inheriting from exception? Okay, in exception class, definitely there is an str method defined, and I am inheriting, that is user defined exception will inherit from that exception, and that str method will call instead of my own str method. Is that okay? I just wanted to prove that, and that is why it now prints that message, no empty string allowed. Is that clear? Yeah. Hello guys, is that clear? Okay, clear, not clear? Okay, so guys, I think it's better we'll start from tomorrow once again. Is that okay? We'll wind up for now and we will start tomorrow. Is that clear? Is that okay, guys? Hello, is that okay? So let us not take up too much. Okay, so can you revise this and come once? Okay, can you revise this and come once? Okay, so okay, someone is asking for quick revision. Okay, guys, keep answering my question so that you'll understand. Let me see if you understood or not. Okay, first of all, difference. Okay, keep keep thinking in your mind. Okay, difference between compile time error, runtime error, and logical error. If you are okay with that, just say okay. Just if you say okay with that, just say okay. Compile time error, runtime error, and logical error. Okay with that? Okay. And then okay, so where should the error detection happen? Where the error detection will happen? Okay, okay. Where will the error exception handling will happen? Exception handling will happen. Okay, so all runtime errors are called as exceptions. Okay, right. So okay, so tell me what all constructs will you use to actually handle these exceptions? Try, exception, else, and try, except, else, and finally. Okay, so else and finally I'll be discussing later. Okay, and now okay, you know that predefined exceptions, user defined exceptions, and okay, so okay, okay, okay. So only thing is, I think you have to know how this is actually working, isn't it? I want you to observe this and see how it is working. Just go through this before coming to the class. You will be in a position to understand. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Hello. Okay. Right. Okay. So fine then. Sir, will you please consider give access for today's session? You want today's session, guys? You want it? Okay. Right. Okay. I'll make it public. Is that clear? I'll make it public. You can use it. I'll give it to all. Fine. Okay, guys. So meet you tomorrow, but please do revise and then come. Okay. Also, please do revise the exception handling chapter from the online book. Is that okay? Right? So fine then. Chalo. So meet you tomorrow. We'll continue with this lesson. It's very important. Okay. Then we'll meet you tomorrow. Fine then, guys. Okay. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Have a wonderful night. Take care, guys. Bye bye. See you. Love you all so much.